Now
on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
Good Tuesday morning. It's 8:37 on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We're making sense of the news. Thanks for joining us. It is 8:37 and I'm Julie Gunlock alongside my friend Andrew Langer. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey there, Julie. Happy Tuesday.
Joining us now is Byron York, Chief Political Correspondent for the Washington Examiner. Thanks for coming on, Byron.
Good morning, folks. Good to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we have a lot of questions about this upcoming debate. You know, we have watched over the years how the sort of rumor mill in Washington works, but there have been also press reports about how Kamala doesn't prepare. She doesn't read her morning briefs. You know, she has this high staff turnover. She's very difficult. In light of that, in light of her history of not really preparing, will she be prepared tonight?
Well, there have been reports about her not really preparing for her job as Vice President of the United States, but there have been a lot of reports about how she's maybe even over-preparing for this debate with all these mock debate sessions. Somebody, I don't know, dressed like a Trump impersonator talking to her. I mean, these really kind of ornate practice sessions that she seems to devise. Now, usually, you know, the more prepared person wins. I mean, go to a football game, the more prepared team wins. But you can't over-prepare, and that's happened in presidential debates before. So I don't know which one is going to be the answer. We'll see.
Well, right. I mean, Byron, it's a situation in which, you know, this is a unique situation for her. Obviously, she did the one-on-one debate with Mike Pence back in 2020, helped, of course, by the fly that landed on Mike Pence's head, right? Who knows what it would have been like if that had happened. But let me ask you, Byron, let me ask you this, right? But it's a foregone conclusion that the media reports tomorrow are going to be that Kamala Harris won. I mean, regardless of her performance, they're gonna say she won. And if she, and it really doesn't matter if she has a spectacular flame out because they can always elevate her to be president of the United States. But am I right in this idea that they will declare her the winner regardless of what happens tonight?
Well, no, I wouldn't say regardless of what happens. Who knows? I mean, obviously you don't expect just a disaster, what happened on June 27th with Joe Biden, which was kind of a predictable disaster. So this case, you don't know. I do think one thing to look out for is, you know, I think we may have learned something in the reporting about the great microphone controversy.
Oh, yes.
It was originally thought, you know, the microphone thing was originally thought to be they were arguing over the prospect of Donald Trump interrupting Kamala Harris, you know, millions of times like he did with Joe Biden back in 2020, when in fact it appears they were arguing over Kamala Harris's plan to interrupt Donald Trump. And the whole idea is, you know how she loves to talk about herself as a tough prosecutor. She's a prosecutor. And if you look at some of her ads, you'll see her as a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee questioning Brett Kavanaugh or questioning Jeff Sessions, you know, really getting tough with them. And so I think that basically that had been her plan, and hoping to sort of interrupt him, have a courtroom drama sort of situation where she interrupts Donald Trump with the facts every now and then. That's not going to happen because of the muted, she can't interrupt him because of the muted mic situation. But I would look for her to still try this prosecutor role and see if she can rattle Trump.
Rattling Trump, that does seem to be the strategy. And what's your? I know people do not want to make predictions. I get it, but you know, Trump was shockingly in control when he debated Biden, and I think part of that was that Biden was just so far gone, and it would have looked mean-spirited and kind of beating up on the old guy. I mean, it was, and I think Trump really understood that, you know, give this guy the rope and he's going to hang himself. But do you think he'll be able to have that same level of control when, you know, Kamala's going to poke at him? I'm speaking. She's going to try that stuff.
Well,
how do you think Trump will react to that?
Yeah, and it's going to be more than I'm speaking. It's going to be, some of her earliest campaign statements made references to 3 legal cases against Trump: the Eugene Carroll lawsuit, she called him a sexual abuser.
Yep.
The Letitia James lawsuit in New York, a business cheat, and then of course the Alvin Bragg trial in New York, a convicted felon.
Right.
So, I mean, she's going to call him all of that stuff. And now, this is not a surprise to him. He's got to be prepared for this and deal with it. But she's going to try all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's really kind of up to him. I personally think he has always had, I mean, for his entire campaign, he's had one simple message. And the message is, when I was president, things were good. When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris became president, things became bad. Elect me, and I'll make them good again. This is a unique argument that no one has been able to make in recent history, because we haven't had a president, a person who has actually served as president of the United States, out of office, running for the presidency again. And so people know that. And I think that's his basic appeal, and how many times he says something like that, I think, will be very important.
Byron, as always, we love talking to you, and we will be watching right along with you and looking for your reaction tomorrow morning. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
We have
Bye-bye.
more to come. It is 8:43 on WMAL.